Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to answer a question that was posted to me through YouTube. Ever since I did the video related to alcohol and how that's affected my life, I've wanted to do something where if I'm asked a question that's, let's say, of particular interest to a wider community, I can give some information and maybe some advice based on where I've come from personally. So what I wanted to say at the start of today's video is if there's anyone out there who wants to ask me any questions, by all means post them on my channel page and ask me any questions there in private. I won't mention names of anyone who's asked me any questions, so if there's anything you particularly want to ask that's maybe personal or maybe just interest about me, that's fine. By all means ask your questions there, and if it's something that I think I can address in a video, then I will come back to you and give you my feedback on that. So the question that was asked to me recently was basically how I got started in dressing, how old I was and how did I get into things in the first place. I first knew that I was, let's say, different from a relatively young age, and I'm leaning towards, I'm not entirely sure, but I think I had a fairly good idea from around the age of 9 or 10, early puberty, that kind of area. So basically, as I was starting to develop and think about things that are perhaps more related to hormonal issues going on, etc., that's where I really started to get sort of thoughts and feelings about how I wanted to be perceived. But at that stage, it was really quite immature. So for me, early on in my life, most of it related to wearing the odd pair of frilly pants or something along those lines. It wasn't really anything defined. I certainly never felt that I was in the wrong kind of body. For me, I didn't have that level of certainty. I was much more confused about whether what I was doing was wrong, was it inappropriate, was I gay? I'm not really sure what kind of things, what was going on in my life. And I didn't have anyone that I would particularly want to share that with when I was growing up. So I kept this all quite internal. So, like I said, early days for me was mostly around sort of very quick, quite sort of seedy, stolen moments, very secretive, very under the radar, not something that you would come out and communicate with people. And as such, I think I developed quite a sort of, not a phobia of talking to people about being different, but certainly it was something I associated with being, let's say, abnormal or not usual. And I didn't feel like it was something I could communicate. So that was really my very early days, was quite devoted to small captured moments. I didn't have any really sort of big moments of wearing full makeup or dressing completely until I was much older in life. So for the first, I would say, 25 to 30 years of my life, once it obviously manifested, about 8 or 9, it was really very subdued, very secretive, very behind closed doors, and something that did have an element of a sexual kick to it. So I think that's something that I associated with all, like all young boys who feel that maybe what they're doing isn't right. You get certain levels of guilt associated with what you do behind closed doors in your bedroom. I had this on top of that as well, and therefore it wasn't something that you would, certainly not something you communicate, not something you talk to your father about. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't feel the need to talk at greater length about it. So it wasn't something that I had put a lot of, I wasn't living a lie, let's put it that way. I had secrets, but I didn't feel like I was in the wrong body. I never had that sense of gender dysphoria. And I really haven't. I've never had that. So that's how things sort of start out for me. Like I said, if there's any questions, if anyone wants to know anything about me, about how I've dealt with things, really specific questions, very vague questions, if you're after advice on something, advice on particular makeup or dressing or clothes shopping or going out for the first time, anything on those lines, please feel free to drop me a line. wherever you can find me. Some people find me through Flickr, some people find me through YouTube, some people try and find me on Facebook, but like I said, Facebook is mainly for social friends, people who I socialise with. So if we meet and we socialise, then we'll be friends on Facebook. But other than that, send me a message on YouTube. Let me know anything that you want to ask, any particular advice, and I will address it through here. Unless you tell me otherwise, I won't mention names or handles or anything else like that. Keep it nice and anonymous. But if it's your question, I'd be very happy to answer it here. Okay, so thanks so much for watching today. Any comments, let me know in the comments down below. Look forward to hearing from you all. And as ever, bye! Bye!